Ever get that feeling like, like your phone is listening to you?
Mm,
You mentioned wanting new shoes.
right.
And suddenly, boom, shoe ads are everywhere.
Yeah,
That's the world of big data at work.
exactly.
Today, we're diving into an article you sent over.
Okay.
It's called Big Data and Privacy, Navigating the Age of Information.
Yeah.
We're going to explore what it really means to live in this age of information.
Right.
We'll uncover the potential of big data,
Sure.
but also confront, the concerns it raises about privacy.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What exactly is big data? Why should we care?
That's a great question. You hear it everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's a buzzword.
But it's more than just a buzzword. Imagine every click, every swipe, every purchase online.
Right.
That's data.
Okay.
Now multiply that by billions of people around the world.
Wow.
That's big data.
Yeah.
These massive data sets that are so large and complex, they require entirely new methods to process them.
So it's not just the sheer volume of data that's important.
Exactly. The article really emphasizes the 3 V's of big data.
Okay.
Volume,
All right.
velocity, and variety.
Okay.
So it's not just the amount, it's
Yeah.
the speed at which it's generated and processed.
Yeah.
And it's the variety, text messages, videos, location data, the whole shebang.
Okay, so we're generating all this data at warp speed,
Mm-hmm.
but what's actually being done with it?
Well, it's being used in ways we probably don't even realize.
Wow.
Let's take healthcare, for example.
Okay.
Imagine analyzing genetic information from millions of people.
Yeah.
That kind of analysis allowed scientists to identify
Right.
a rare genetic mutation that causes a specific type of cancer.
Wow.
And because they were able to identify this mutation using big data, they could develop a targeted therapy that's now saving lives.
That's incredible. Yeah. So we're talking about life-saving potential here, but it makes you wonder, what kind of access to personal medical data is needed to achieve this?
It's definitely a delicate balance.
Right.
On the one hand, access to this data can lead to breakthroughs,
Right.
but on the other, it raises concerns about privacy and who has access to our most sensitive medical information.
Absolutely. And it's not just healthcare. The article mentioned businesses are using big data too. But isn't it creepy how companies seem to know exactly what we want before we even know it ourselves?
So that's the power of big data analytics.
Okay.
Let's say you're browsing for a new coffee maker.
Okay. Yeah.
The website tracks your clicks,
Uh-huh.
the reviews you read, even how long you spend looking at different models.
Wow.
Then, using algorithms, it compares your behavior to millions of other shoppers
Right.
to predict what kind of coffee maker you're most likely to buy. And bam, you're served with ads and recommendations tailored just for you.
So it's not magic, it's algorithms.
Yeah.
But it still feels a little like companies are peering into our minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand why it feels that way. It's a powerful tool.
Yeah.
The ability to predict and influence consumer behavior.
Right.
And it raises questions about how much control we really have over our choices.
Absolutely. And it's not just personalized ads either. The article touched upon the idea of smart cities,
Right.
which sounds futuristic and almost too good to be true.
Yeah, think about it using sensors and data analysis.
Okay.
Cities can optimize traffic flow,
Right.
reducing congestion and commute times,
That'd be nice.
manage energy consumption more efficiently, saving money and resources.
Wow.
They can even use predictive analytics to anticipate and respond to potential problems,
Like crime.
crime or natural disasters.
So it's about using data to make our cities run smoother and safer.
Exactly. But again, it raises concerns about surveillance and
Sure.
the potential for misuse of data.
Right. If cities are collecting data on our every move, how do we know our privacy is protected?
That's a great point.
It seems like with big data, we're walking a tightrope between amazing possibilities and potential pitfalls.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
navigating the opportunities and the challenges
Right.
in a way that benefits society
Right.
without compromising individual privacy.
It's a fascinating discussion, and we've only just scratched the surface. Let's delve deeper into the darker side of big data. What exactly are some of the risks to our privacy that we need to be aware of?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is data breaches.
Oh, yeah?
We hear about them all the time.
Yeah, it seems like every day.
Companies, governments, even healthcare organizations getting hacked.
Right. Right.
And when these massive data sets are compromised,
Yeah.
it's not just a few credit card numbers at stake.
Right.
It's our personal information, our financial histories, our medical records,
That's
all
exact.
potentially falling into the wrong hands.
That's a scary thought. One breach.
Right.
And your entire digital life is out there
Yeah.
for anyone to see. And it's not just hackers, is it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
The article highlights this growing concern about surveillance.
Okay.
Think about all the data that's being collected
Right.
by governments and corporations, our online activity,
Uh-huh.
our location data, our communication records.
Yeah.
In the wrong hands, this data could be used to track our movements,
Right.
monitor our behavior, even predict our future actions.
It's a little like that saying,
Yeah.
if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Exactly.
Right. Our data is being collected and monetized,
Yeah.
often without our full understanding or consent.
And that's a key point.
Right.
We click agree
Yeah, click, click.
to terms and conditions without really knowing what we're signing up for.
It's true. It's true.
It's this lack of transparency that's particularly worrying.
Okay, so we've got data breaches,
Yeah.
surveillance, lack of transparency,
Hmm.
any other privacy risks lurking out there in the digital shadows.
Well, there's growing concern about the use of algorithms
Right.
in decision-making processes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
From loan approvals to job applications to even criminal justice,
Wow.
algorithms are increasingly being used
Uh-huh.
to assess risk and make decisions.
Right.
That can have a huge impact on our lives.
So it's not just about companies using algorithms to target us with ads. It's
Yeah.
about,
Right.
potentially life-altering decisions being made by lines of code.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the problem is that algorithms are only as good as the data they're trained on.
Right.
So if the data is biased or incomplete, the algorithm will inherit those biases,
Right.
potentially leading to unfair or discriminatory outcomes.
Wow. So give me an example.
Imagine a hiring algorithm that favors certain demographics over others,
Oh,
simply because of the data it was trained on.
so it's not just about the technology itself?
No.
It's about the human biases that can be embedded in that technology.
Exactly.
It seems like we're facing a real ethical dilemma here.
Yeah.
We have this incredibly powerful tool, big data,
Right.
that can be used for good or for bad.
Uh-huh.
How do we make sure it's used responsibly?
That's the million-dollar question. The article argues that we need to shift the focus
Okay.
from simply collecting more data
Right.
to using data responsibly and ethically.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice? How do we actually achieve this, responsible and ethical use of big data?
Well, it requires a multi-pronged approach.
Right.
First, we need stronger regulations
Okay.
and legal frameworks
Yeah.
to protect individual privacy in the digital age.
Yeah.
The European Union's General Data Protection Regulation,
Right.
GDPR,
Right.
is a good example of this.
Okay.
It gives individuals more control over their personal data
Yeah.
and sets stricter rules for data collection and use.
So, stricter laws, more transparency, more user control. It sounds like we're talking about a major shift in how we think about data and privacy.
Mm.
But what about the technology itself? Can technology be part of the solution?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm all ears.
There are some really exciting developments
Mhm.
in privacy-enhancing technologies
Okay.
that have the potential to mitigate some of the risks we've discussed.
What kind of technologies are we talking about?
One promising area is encryption.
Okay.
Encryption basically scrambles data,
Right.
making it unreadable to anyone without the decryption key.
Oh, okay.
Think of it like sending a secret message
Right.
in a coded language
Yeah.
that only the intended recipient can decipher.
So even if someone intercepts the data,
Right.
they can't understand it without the key.
Exactly.
That makes sense. What else?
Another approach is differential privacy.
Okay.
It's a bit more complex,
Okay.
but imagine a survey asking sensitive questions.
Okay.
Instead of giving your exact answer,
Right.
you flip a coin. Heads, you tell the truth. Tails, you give a random answer.
Okay.
This adds noise to the data,
Right.
making it harder to identify individual responses,
Yeah.
while still allowing researchers to get useful insights from the overall data set.
That's clever. So you protect privacy without sacrificing the value of the data.
Exactly.
Any other privacy-saving technologies on the horizon?
One that's gaining a lot of traction is federated learning.
Federated learning.
It's a way of training AI models without actually sharing all of our raw data.
Wait, how does that work? I thought AI needs tons of data to learn.
It does, but with federated learning, the data stays on our individual devices.
Okay.
The AI model is trained on small bits of data from each device,
Yeah.
and then the learnings are shared without revealing any personal information.
Okay, so like,
It's like having a team of chefs working on a recipe together.
okay.
Each chef experiments in their own kitchen
Uh-huh.
and then shares their learnings with the group
Yeah.
without revealing their exact ingredients or techniques.
That's fascinating. So we can benefit from AI without having to sacrifice our privacy.
Hmm.
Are there any other solutions out there that are particularly promising?
One that I think is really exciting is the concept of decentralized data systems
No?
using blockchain technology.
Blockchain.
So instead of having all our data stored in these massive centralized databases
Right.
controlled by big companies,
Yeah.
imagine a system where data is distributed across a network.
So it's like taking power away from the big tech companies and putting it back in the hands of individuals.
Exactly. With blockchain, you own your data
Okay.
and you decide who gets access to it.
You're in control.
It's also much more secure
Right.
because there's no single point of failure.
That sounds promising.
Mm.
It seems like we're on the verge of a major shift
Yeah,
in how we think about data and privacy.
I think so.
But this is a lot for anyone to wrap their head around.
It is. It is.
Where do you see this all heading? What does the future hold for big data and privacy?
It's tough to predict with certainty. But I think one thing is clear. The conversation around data privacy is only going to become more important.
Right.
As technology continues to evolve,
Yeah.
we need to be vigilant about protecting our rights
Right.
and ensuring that data is used ethically and responsibly.
So it's not just about developing new technologies.
Yeah.
It's about developing a new mindset,
I think you're right.
a new way of thinking about data.
It's about recognizing that data is not just some abstract concept.
Right.
It's about people.
Okay.
It's about our lives, our experiences, our identities.
I like that data is about people.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing our listeners should take away from this deep dive,
Yeah.
what would it be? What's the most important thing for them to remember as they navigate this new world of big data?
I think the most important thing is critical thinking.
Okay.
Don't just blindly accept what you see or hear.
Question everything.
Question the information you're given.
Right.
Ask questions about how data is being collected, used, and shared. Be aware of the potential biases in algorithms.
Right. Right.
Think critically about the implications of new technologies.
So it's about becoming informed and empowered citizens in the digital age.
Exactly.
We can't just be passive consumers of technology.
Right.
We need to be active participants in shaping how it's used.
I agree.
Absolutely. So what can listeners do today to start putting these ideas into action?
Start by having conversations.
Okay.
Talk to your friends, your family, your colleagues
Yeah.
about these issues. Share articles, discuss your concerns,
Have those tough conversations.
challenge assumptions.
Yeah.
The more we talk about these things,
Yeah.
the more we raise awareness and create a collective understanding of the importance of data privacy.
That's a great point. It all starts with a conversation.
It does.
And who knows, maybe that conversation will inspire someone to create the next big privacy-enhancing technology or to advocate for stronger data protection laws.
That's the power of ideas and dialogue.
Ah,
They have the potential to spark real change.
I think we've sparked some important conversations today. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of big data and privacy.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been a fascinating exploration, and I hope our listeners are feeling informed, empowered, and inspired to take action.
And remember, the future of technology is not predetermined.
Right.
It's something we create together.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for listening, everyone. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the conversation going.